Today's focus, we're going to talk about getting started powering up your Power Automate by wiring up all of your connections. Connections from SharePoint, OneDrive, SQL, any data lakes, data sources you got, you name it. We're going to jump right in and going to learn how to power up your Power Automate experience before diving into building your first flow. Because what we need to do first is get everything connected. We're going to start with the Microsoft ecosystem. So essentially wiring up all of your connections to the workspaces that you have access to or the applications you have access to. So right now I have no connections created. So I'm going to click on create connection. If you do have a connection created, then you're going to click the new connection on the upper side. I can go ahead and click that. Here we're going to wire up all of our connections. So if I want to connect to a SharePoint list, document library, if I want to update an Excel file that's stored in a document library, I must establish the connection. SharePoint is a solid source to use within Power Automate flows, as SharePoint these days is a heavily used area for much internal knowledge and operational items. So I'm going to go ahead and hit create. I'm not going to use the on-premise data gateway because I think by now we're all using cloud services. So I'm just going to go ahead and wire it up. I'm going to allow access in here and get it started. And we essentially just rinse and repeat. Let's go ahead and wire up anything else. OneDrive for Business is good to use if I want to add in anything that I store in my own personal OneDrive for Business. I can tie into certain automation flows. One example would be every email that I get, I want to store that email in a folder within my OneDrive, whether it's the email attachments, the email itself. If you just want to store it to your personal OneDrive versus like, a SharePoint library folder, which you could do with the SharePoint connection. But in this case, you can use the OneDrive for Business for your personal folder. Microsoft Entra ID, yes, establish connection. There are steps and flows that you can call to get additional information about somebody. Like, for example, let's say you're creating a SharePoint list and that you have a column that is a person column. That person's information is in Microsoft Entra, where you're going to add in the type of action you want. Let's say you want to search a user. You can search a user using a name, an email, or something like that, and pull back other attributes of that person. And again, later on in other videos, we're going to go through how to do a lot of this stuff. Once again, we're just wiring it up. So just kind of go through here. I like to add on all of the Microsoft basics. Wish there was like an easy way to filter just for the Microsoft ecosystem, everything that's a part of your license package that you have. And again, I'll create videos about each of these connections and give you real world cases on how to best use them, and show you some really cool stuff. Yeah, there's going to be times where I'm going to say some things. You're just going to have to go with it. I'm not scripted. It is what it is. Okay. It's because I'm going to get into the nitty gritty. Now let's just go ahead and recap. Now what I did is I found all of the ecosystem connections. So I established connections to all applications that we use in an ecosystem. Now, why did I do that? I'd say many organizations are going to be like a Microsoft based company. So they're going to use all the different Microsoft applications. And when that's the case, then you're going to want to wire up all of the Microsoft applications. That way, if you're building workflows for teams, and let's just say there's an internal team that is heavy in Excel files, like they're creating files, saving them, and you want to create a system that automatically creates an Excel file, adds data to a table, attaches the file in an email, sends it to appropriate parties. These are items that we're going to go to, but you need to wire up those like Excel connections in order to build a flow like that. So before you even try to build a flow, first thing to do is to wire up all the connections. So again, I'm just going to start from top to bottom just to show you the base in getting started with Power Automate. Viva Engage, we'll go through that in a whole nother series. Microsoft Forms, I'm going to go through that. Power Apps for admins. As I mentioned, this channel will be heavy in utilizing Power Apps with Power Automate. Power Apps Notification V2, Project Online, Azure DevOps. If you're using a CRM, I know Dynamics CRM, but customer relationship management tool, if you're using Dynamics, you got your Dynamics 365 customer insights and also the sales insights. Standard approvals, like if you have an approval process and you want to turn it into a digital approval process, this is what we can do. Planner, so this is where you have your automated task assignment. So if you wanted to assign people specific tasks, and so they get notified from Planner, like, hey, they just been assigned a task, it's due this time and whatnot, you got Planner. Excel, you're going to do a lot with Excel. I think nowadays everybody's using Excel, so there's a lot of power in Excel. We're going to go through a lot of tips and tricks. Office 365 groups, Outlook 365, right? If you want to add those steps in a flow where you're like, hey, I want to send an email anytime this happens, you must have that Outlook connection. There's a send an email V2 version in action in Power Automate that's really cool to use. Microsoft Entra ID, you need this as your basis, right? And with workflows for business operations, like these are key things that you need. 365 groups, Outlook, Entra, Power Platform for admins, SQL. I like running, it's because I'll have like flows that will run a huge statement. You do SQL and you want to write queries. Databricks too, actually. I like using Databricks now. A lot of companies are moving towards Databricks, and I actually use Databricks. Anywho, that will be another one, but that is how you get started to wire up your Power Automate, where you can start building some of the coolest workflows. This package that you've seen us go through, this will help get you everything you need to get started. Again, this is like one of the first videos, but if you enjoyed it, please like this video, subscribe to the page. We'd love to have you. If there's anything that you would like to learn on how to do, drop a comment, send me an email. I can be reached at contact@ytvtrainer.com. Let me know what your thoughts are, what you'd like to see. As you see, this is a new channel. I have a lot of videos to come. I still work day in and day out deep in Power Automate, Power Platform stuff. So I've got much content to come. Let me know if there's anything that you would need. Otherwise, if you're still watching, I appreciate you. Thank you for still watching. Thank you, and I will see you guys another time.